Okay, hi there, this is John at Rebalance Clinic. I'm going to teach you about a 30-minute flow sequence here, focused largely on movement through our spine. A relatively steady flow, but there'll be some heat that will build in it. So just want to make sure that we come from a grounded and rooted place as we start. So if I can get you to come into a comfortable seat, and probably the best thing to do, I'm sat on one of these at the moment, a cork block. So if you haven't got a block at home, you can use maybe a hardback book, dictionary or a thesaurus is always good. And just bring yourself to sit either onto your block or to the floor. And you want to make sure that you've got a nice amount of space for your breath to move, so your breath can move deeply within your abdomen, and most important of all, that your knees tend to fall below your hips, so you're not too tight in your hip flexors. And then once you've got yourself set up here, just bring your hands on top of your thighs. And actually, as you first begin to kind of sit down here, just close down your eyes and begin to observe the path of your breath through your body. So not changing anything, just being conscious and aware of the movement of your breath. So you just watch the flow of the inhale through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, expanding into the lungs, the rib cage, all the way down to the bowl of the pelvis, the abdomen expands. And as you exhale, you just watch the flow of the breath move back out through the body. And just slowly connect into that. And then from that point, you're just going to draw your attention to your sick bones, which are right in the base of your glutes. So maybe you just do a gentle rock, just from left to right here. And just feel that as you do that, there's a sense of evenness that you're bringing into the lower body here. And slowly you bring yourself back into stillness. And then draw your attention now to your lower spine. So right to your tailbone. And imagine that from that point that you're grounded, rooted towards the floor. That there's almost roots extending out into the earth beneath you. And then from this point, you take that energy of grounding and rooting towards the floor, and you're going to visualize it moving up through the central column of the spine. And you can still have the eyes closed, you're still watching the breath. And then as you kind of move through this, you're going to draw your attention towards your navel center, so towards your belly button. There's a very slight lift, just drawing in towards the spine, which is just going to help to support the lower spine. And that line of energy moves up. As much as you're grounding and rooting, there's a sense of lifting through the torso. Energy moves up in towards the heart. And you just pay attention to that fact that your heart develops before your brain. And then from this point, as you come up through the spine, you're going to come to the soft palate, which is at the top of the roof of your mouth. So just take the tip of your tongue to the back row of your top row of teeth and just trace the tip of the tongue along the roof of the mouth. And from that point, you'll come to a slightly soft, fleshy area. And let the tongue release. And then almost, it's like an energetic kind of feeling. Maybe you just gently draw the kind of head back so you feel this slight lifting of the chest, and that soft palate is right above your tailbone. And suddenly you feel this sense of length, I would say, and strength through the spine. Maybe the chest feels a little more open. And as much as you're grounding and rooting here, you feel that energy lift and come all the way out through the top of the head. And just connect with that. Just take a couple more breaths. And just set your intention for your practice for this next period of time that we're here for, just to stay grounded, to stay rooted, and to stay connected in towards your breath. Just one or two more breaths here. Really good, guys. And then gently, gently, you're just going to open the eyes very softly. And we're going to come straight into some movement here now. So just draw yourself onto your all fours, whatever way is easy to do. You're going to come onto your hands into your knees. Take your block away from you. But I'd say have your blocks close by, probably towards the top of the mat if you can, because you're going to come into them using them shortly later on. Place your hands below your shoulders. Have your fingers nice and wide from each other, especially your thumb and your forefinger. They're nice and wide from each other here. Pressing down in towards the floor. Have your knees maybe right under your hips or ever so just about ½ an inch behind the hips, so you get a nice amount of length through the spine here. Backs of the feet to the floor. If you're more comfortable, your toes can be tucked. And as you inhale, you're just going to draw the chest forwards, draw the gaze up, lift the tailbone up towards the sky. And exhale, just lift the heart into the back of the body, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. And then inhale, draw yourself forward. So do this a few more times. And just visualize that the whole spine is moving here. So super, super tight. So much of our time is spent sitting down, especially at the moment now. So you really just want to move into that full movement of the spine here, even if you do feel tight. You inhale, you roll forwards, and exhale, just draw yourself back. A couple more rounds like this. You can close down the eyes. Just lift, even with the eyes closed, you lift the gaze up towards the top, towards the sky here, and exhale, just draw yourself back in. And then from here, return to a neutral spine and start to, and you may be in a room on your own, but sometimes you can still feel a bit self-conscious of this. You're going to start to move the hips just from side to side here, and we really want to work into the entire spine. So just start with the hips. Think that there's maybe like a paintbrush at the tip of the tailbone, and you're just painting a line behind you here. So just a movement from side to side. And then this is kind of organic movement, Sahajic movement. You're going to start to roll all of that movement up through the spine, which means you can start to bend the elbows, let the head become heavy, and just listen to what your body is telling you here. So it might mean that you make the movement slightly deeper. Maybe you bring the hips back towards the heels. Maybe there's a little more stretch through the lower back. And just draw a few shapes just with the spine here. Let the head become heavy. Really good. And the one thing you want to make sure as you do this is that you complete the movements equally on both sides. So make sure you come back in the other direction. Maybe you start to feel a few kind of openings in the hips here, a few pops, which personally I always quite like that sound. Not everybody does, but I always know that something's starting to happen in my body when I start to feel that movement. It's just a couple more rounds here. And just stay with your breath. Really good. And then just draw yourself when you're ready back into stillness. Feel that there's that alignment again with the hands pressing deep into the floor. So that grounding, rooting is going to lift you higher. And then from here, you're going to lift the knees, bringing yourself up and back into your downward facing dog. And it may be you need to adjust the hands, adjust the feet. Maybe you bend the knees slightly. See if you can lift the tailbone further up towards the sky here. Take a full deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, just let that release out of the mouth. One more breath in here. And exhale, let go. Really good. And then from here, bring the gaze forwards in between the thumbs. And you're just going to gently walk yourself up to the top of the mat, coming into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Have the feet about hip width distance apart to begin with. Staying low. You're going to inhale, take the hands towards the shins, lengthen the spine. So remember, long spine. Ardha Uttanasana, your halfway lift. And then exhale, draw yourself back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen forwards. And then exhale, draw yourself back down. Really good. Bend the knees as much as you need to get that length right into the base of the spine. And then inhale, draw yourself forwards again. Gaze is forwards but down, so try and take the tension out of the back of the neck. And exhale, draw yourself down. And then really good. Just from here, have a slight bend in the knees. There's a little bit of bounce. Grounding through the feet. You're going to inhale, bring the arms wide, lift the gaze, draw yourself all the way high. Take the gaze with you. And exhale, take the hands down through heart center. Just let the arms come down by the side of the body. Take a full deep breath in again. And exhale, release. Let's take one more breath in here together. Inhale deeply. And exhale, let go. And then from here, let's come into some sun salutations now. So inhale, take the arms wide. Bring the gaze high, lift. Exhale, fold yourself forwards all the way down. Nice and gentle to begin. Inhale, hands towards the shins, lengthen the spine, send the sick bones back. And then exhale, take the hands down to the floor. Step back to your plank. So just step back on this first round. Push deep into the hands again, dome between the shoulder blades. Your belly button draws in, and have your heels, although they're engaged, sending energy towards the back of the room or whatever is behind you. And as you exhale, take your knees down. Try and keep your arms close to your rib cage if you can, and then bring the chest forwards. Bring the chin down as well if you can. And then inhale, you're going to gently lift. Keep it really low, your cobra. Length through the spine, so tailbone pushing behind you, top of the head towards the front of the room, or even in your garden, if you're in your garden, towards the top of the garden. Exhale, tuck the toes, bring the hips back towards the heels, and then lift yourself back up again into your downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Full breath in, all the way to the base of the spine, and exhale, let release. Let the head be heavy. Just let the head rock from side to side. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Really good. One more breath in here. And release. And then bring the gaze forwards in between the thumbs. Bend the knees. And just gently walk yourself up to the top of the mat here. And then inhale, come into your halfway lift. Exhale, draw yourself back down. And then inhale, take the arms wide, bring the gaze high. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Let's do one more round like this together. So inhale, take the arms wide, bring the gaze high. Exhale, fold yourself forwards all the way down. Feel the spine feeling longer the more that you do this movement. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Fingertips to the floor this time if that allows. And exhale, draw yourself back down. Step back to your plank. Strong, engaged, belly button in, crown of the head in front of you, and heels pointing behind you. And then exhale, 8-point pose again. So knees down, chest, then chin comes forwards and down. And inhale, gently lift. Keep it low, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes, draw yourself back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. If you're struggling with where to look with your gaze, I'd say just either have the eyes closed or softly place your gaze in between your feet. So looking back through your heels. And try and keep the neck long, the neck relaxed here. One more breath here. Gaze comes forwards. Bend the knees and just walk yourself back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, come back into your halfway lift. And then exhale, draw yourself back down. And then inhale, bring yourself up again. So lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, take the hands back to heart center. Let's do one more round, maybe a little bit quicker this time. So inhale, raise the gaze, lift the arms, feel the heart lift. And exhale, fold yourself all the way back down. Inhale, back into your halfway lift. And then exhale, draw down. And then press deep through your hands. You're either going to hop back or step back, plank. And then descend, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga this time. Inhale, lift into your upward facing dog or low cobra. And then exhale, tuck the toes. Draw yourself back, downward facing dog. Good, 3 breaths here. And then gaze comes forwards in between the thumbs, bend the knees, walk, or this time gently hop yourself up. Inhale, come into your halfway lift. And then exhale, draw yourself back down. And then inhale, bring the arms wide. Take the gaze high, lift all the way high. Exhale, hands down through heart center. And just stand, arms down by the side of the body, palms just facing slightly forwards. Feel the chest is open. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And we're going to build on this now. So we're going to continue with this vinyasa, adding a few more postures in. So you're going to inhale, take the arms wide, bring the gaze with you, and then exhale, descend yourself all the way back down. Inhale to lengthen forwards. Exhale, descend. Come through your vinyasa, your choice of how. Descend on the exhale, and then inhale, reach yourself forwards. And then exhale, bring yourself back. Downward facing dog. From here, feel that you're going to lift from your belly button through your inner thigh, your right leg high. Bend that right knee and open that top hip. Try and keep equal weight through right and left hands. And then inhale, bring that right leg behind you. And then exhale, right foot comes forwards, left foot comes to 90 degrees. And you're going to inhale, you're going to bring yourself up into your warrior two. Take a moment here. Feel yourself ground through the feet. Try and take the hands to shoulder height. And as much as you're reaching forwards with the right fingertips, feel the left fingertips pull back. Gaze is forwards, flip that right palm. Left hand comes down the back of that left leg and inhale, lift into your exalted warrior here. Keep that right knee right over that front ankle. And then come back through your warrior two. Take your right forearm, top of right thigh, and inhale, come across into your side angle posture here. So reach those left fingertips all the way forwards. Take the gaze up towards that top bicep and push into the blade of that left foot. Really good now, guys. Now from here, push deep into the feet. Inhale, come back into your warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Maybe adjust that back foot slightly, bring it in slightly closer. Exhale, take that right hand down towards your shin. Turn, and then inhale, lift the left arm high. Come into your triangle here. Just a breath. Feel that your heart is turning towards the sky above you. And lift those left fingertips towards the sky. One more breath. Inhale, rebend that right knee, come back into your warrior two. And then exhale, windmill the hands down, either side of front foot. Come onto the ball of your back foot and step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale and then exhale, draw yourself into your plank. Prepare with an inhale and then exhale, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. And then inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart. And then exhale, draw yourself back, downward facing dog. Full deep breath in. So get settled, get grounded, and release. And then inhale, lift the left leg high. Bend the top knee, open the top hip. See if you can lift the knee a little higher. And then draw the hips back level. Exhale, place that left foot in between the hands. Right foot comes to 90 degrees. And inhale, bring yourself back up into your warrior two. Good, so ground. So from the hips, it's like the energy is going down. And from the hips up, it's like you're bringing the energy up. So have the front knee right over the front ankle. Just check that back arm, make sure it's in line with that right shoulder. And then from here, reach the front fingertips forwards. Inhale, lift yourself into your exalted warrior here. Bring the gaze high. And try and lift through this right side of the body as much as the left here. So you're not slumping. There's a sense of lift all the way towards the sky. And then from here, draw yourself back into your warrior two. Take your left forearm on top of your left thigh and extend your right fingertips forwards to whatever is in front of you, but push into the blade of that back right foot. Really good. One more breath. Turn the heart towards the sky. And then inhale, draw yourself back up into your warrior two. Straighten that front knee. Adjust that back foot as you need to. And then extend forwards. Left hand comes down. Right hand reaches high. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Heart turns, length again through left side as much as right. So almost shorten the distance between the right armpit and the right hip to lengthen the left hip towards the left armpit. And then from here, inhale for transition back into your warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down, either side of front foot. Downward facing dog. Now you can take a vinyasa here, but if you feel you're building heat already, just take a few breaths. Take your knees down towards the floor. Take your hips back towards the heels and come back into your child's posture, your balasana. Extend the arms forwards. Really good. You can stay in your downward facing dog after your vinyasa, or you can just take a couple more breaths here. Full inhale together and exhale, let go. One more deep breath in and exhale, release. And if you're downward facing dog, if you're there, stay there. Everybody else, if you're like me in your child's posture, then just bring yourself back up into that downward facing dog. And we're just going to build on that sequence. We're going to add one more posture in. So from here, in your downward facing dog, inhale, bring that right leg high. Bend that top knee and open that top hip. Feel there's more space on this second cycle in all of the body. And then from here, level the hips, draw that right foot forwards, left foot 90 degrees. Maybe it's wider between the feet now. And inhale, bring yourself up into your warrior two. Settle, ground, and then reach forwards, right fingertips. Inhale, lift, exalted warrior. Good, a breath. Exhale, come forwards, Parsvakonasana, side angle posture. This time, forearm to thigh, extend the left arm forwards, or if it's there, take a block, place it inside of your right foot, and take the hand towards the block. You can even come straight to the floor if it's there. Good, spend one more breath here. And then inhale, draw yourself back into your warrior two. You're going to straighten that front knee, take the right hand down, and inhale, lift yourself into your triangle. Good, a breath. Okay, and then from here, so listen to this next transition. Bring the gaze down towards the floor. Take your left hand to your left hip. Start to bend your right knee. Now take your block, shuffle your left foot in slightly, and place the block just in front of that right foot, off to the right, and then you're going to lift half moon pose. So lift that left leg high, flex those left toes, keep the gaze down, straighten that right leg, and if you feel stable here, you're going to inhale and lift the left arm high. Good, just one more breath here. Okay, and from here, start to bend this right knee. So really bend that right knee, step back wide, wider than you think, and come back into your triangle posture. Turn the gaze, lift the left arm towards the sky. And then exhale, take the left hand down, frame that front foot, step back into your downward facing dog. Well done, guys. Take a full deep breath in together. And exhale, release. If it's there, come through your vinyasa. If not, child's posture or stay in your downward facing dog. Inhale to lift forwards if you're coming through. And then exhale, draw yourself back. Let's do the final side here. So from here now, inhale, lift the left leg high. Bend the top knee, open the top hip. Maybe lift a little higher. Lengthen that leg back behind you. And exhale, bring that foot in between the hands. Back foot 90 degrees. And then inhale, draw yourself up, warrior two. Good, just take a breath. There's probably quite a lot of heat building in the body here now. But super important that you stay grounded through the feet here and that you feel that the tailbone is sinking down towards the floor, belly button's drawing in. So stay rooted with that. Flip that front palm, bring it forwards and inhale, lift, come into your exalted warrior here. One breath. Exhale, side angle posture, forearm to thigh, or hand down inside of the foot, inside of the leg, if that feels good. And you can use your block if you need to. Extending that top hand towards the front of the room. And then from here, inhale, come back into your warrior two. Straighten that front knee, and then reach forwards, down, triangle posture. Bring the gaze up towards that top hand. Really good, a breath. Gaze comes down, top hand, top hip. Rebend that front knee, take your block, step that right foot in slightly, and then as you inhale, you're going to lift that right leg high. And then from here, keep the gaze down just to help the balance. Keep that standing leg strong, so big toe pressing towards the floor. Maybe you inhale and lift that right arm high. Just a breath. See if you can lift the right foot slightly higher. And then as you exhale, start to bend standing leg. Step back long, wide, triangle. Left hand down, right hand comes high. Gaze is high. And then exhale, bring that right hand down, rebend front knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Full deep inhale together. And then exhale, bring the knees down towards the floor. Take the hips back towards the heels. And then just come and rest in towards your balasana here, your child's posture. Let the shoulders just drop away from the ears. Now, if it's tricky to have the forehead close towards the floor, you can take your block or your book and just place your forehead just onto your block here. And just breathe here. Send all of your breath into the back of your body. Feel that almost the kidneys are expanding here, and that the hips are sinking further towards the heels. Just a couple more rounds of breath. Feel that all of your breath is going into the back of the body here, so the lungs are expanding. All the way down to the base of the tailbone, base of the spine. And then gently, gently from here, just start to raise yourself back into your seat. If you're using your block, you're just going to take your block to one side. And even at this point now, you can have the eyes closed or just very gently open. You're just going to take yourself into your rest pose here, just for a moment. So whatever way is easy for you to do, just lie fully flat down towards the mat. Let the legs be wide, let the feet fall out to the side. Chin is slightly drawn in towards the chest, back of the neck is long. Have the palms facing up towards the sky, arms about 45 degrees away from the body. And just feel the entire weight of the back body just connects deeply down to the floor beneath you. And just a couple more breaths here. And just before we close the practice here, we're just going to do one very gentle supine back bend, but more with the intention to lengthen through the spine. So from here, you're going to take your feet just below the knees. Have the feet about hip width distance apart. Bring the arms down by the side of the body. And if hopefully you can try and have that sensation or that feeling where the backs of the fingers just graze the backs of the heels here. Have the chin just ever so slightly, not tucked, but the back of the neck is long, so the chin is drawing towards the chest. Push through all four corners of the feet, push through the arms, the hands, and as you inhale, just roll the spine up towards the sky. Lift the hips, lift the heart, and feel that you are sending energy through the tops of the thighs towards the front of the room as much as you can feel the heart lifting up towards the sky, almost as if the heart could burst out of the chest and back over the top of the head. If you need to, just take your block or your book and bring yourself into a restorative bridge here, so you can place your block right beneath the sacrum, which is right at the base of the spine. And you just rest for a couple more breaths. And if you're on your block, just push into the hands, the feet again. Gently raise the hips away. Remove the block. Everybody else, just roll the spine down one vertebra at a time. And then just take the arms wide from the body. Actually, just a gentle twist here, so let the knees just fall into center. Take the feet to mat width apart. And you're just going to let the knees fall over towards the left-hand side. Take the gaze over towards the right-hand side. Breathe all the way through the ribs, so you feel the ribs expanding here, lungs expanding. And as you next exhale, just draw the knees back into center. Take an inhale and exhale, let the knees fall over in the other direction here. And again, space, breath. Making sure there's a nice amount of length going back into the lower spine. Inhale, draw back into center. And then exhale, just letting everything become heavy here. Just allowing yourself to draw down and towards your final rest, your Shavasana. Maybe take the arms slightly down, so they're about 45 degrees away from the body. And just let go of any sensation of control of the breath. And I recommend that you spend maybe 4 to 5 minutes here, just in your final rest, just absorbing your practice. So you can just stay here, and either, if you haven't got time, then you can bring yourself out with me now, but otherwise, just stay exactly as you are. So wherever you are, if you're closing, you just start to draw the feet towards each other. Take the arms overhead, give yourself a good long stretch. As you exhale, just draw the knees in towards the chest. And give yourself a gentle hug, gentle rock. The spine is long. And then you just gently roll yourself over towards your right-hand side. Place the hand down, your left hand down in front of the heart. Again, a breath. And then slowly with the eyes closed or just very gently open, you're just going to draw yourself back up in towards what feels like a comfortable seat for you. So if your block or your prop is close by, you can just bring yourself up onto that. And just cross the legs. Place the hands back on top of the thighs here. And just notice again how the body feels, maybe a little more grounded, a little more rooted. That sensation of rooting and grounding through the sick bones, through the tailbone, but lifting tall through the spine. The chest is lifting. And thank yourself for your able, capable, physical body, for all that it allows you to do in your practice. Thank you so much, guys.